Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with Arduino. Today we're going to be looking at the LCD. It's going to be a shorter video today, and we're going to look at some of the effects you can use with the actual LCD. So that's like the scrolling effect, a timer, and some messages based on conditionals using a timer and seconds. So I really think you should follow what this message says, and we're going to hop right into the code to explain different things you can display with the Arduino LCD. So if you haven't seen my previous video, I would recommend that you check that out with the actual LCD basics with the code and the actual creation and the circuit diagram. If not, you can follow this schematic. I'll also post an image of it online of the circuit diagram and the code that we can look at. But then in this video, we're just going to be looking at the scrolling effect and a few other cool things you can do with the Arduino LCD to display. The next video, what we're going to do is be creating a game using the Arduino LCD, and then we're going to take that to the next level by implementing it into our memory game. So hopefully you'll be able to take something away from this video and the next video about the Arduino LCD, and then we can combine our skills to apply it to an actual project. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram for the Arduino. I'm not going to say too much about this. You can find a lot of the basic details, and I go more in depth in this in my previous video about the basics of the LCD. But yeah, this is the circuit diagram, and then we'll take a quick look at the code. So this is the code for the Arduino LCD. Like I previously said, I'm not going to say too much about this. There's a lot of details in the previous video, but essentially what you're doing is you're creating a 16 by 2. So there's 16, I guess, columns and 2 rows, and then you can print, since the cursor begins at 0, 0, which is the start, 0 with column, 0 with row. You're going to print the first message, and then you're going to set the cursor to 0, 1. 1 in computer language is kind of like 2, so like 0 would be 1, 1 would be 2. So in this incident, 1 would be the second row, and then you just output the word subscribe. So now let's look at some of the effects and things you can do with the Arduino LCD when outputting a message. Okay, so you can see I kind of added some code. This is what we had before. And what I'm going to do is, since this one is going to be outputted on what line this was going to be printed on, what I'm going to do is just take this line out. So basically what that does is that just prints out like and on the first line. So let's just say a simple message like this. So now let's look at this section. So what do you think is going to be outputted from this? You see set cursor 0, 1. So you already assume that 0 is the column and 1 is the row. So this is going to be column 1, column 0, line 1. So this is going to be on the second row, and then what it's going to print is this message. So right here, oh, I forgot the LCD.print. That's very important so that it prints to the LCD. And so what it does is millis, you can assume, is milliseconds divided by 1,000. So if there are 1,000 milliseconds for every 1,000, there are 1,000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second, then what do you think this does? Well, it just outputs the amount of the number of seconds. And so basically what this is going to do is output enjoy on the first line, and the amount of seconds on the second line. So that's not static. It's always going to be changing. It will always be changing because the number of seconds will continue to progress. All right, so this is what the output looks like. You see that the seconds are progressing. This will continually go on until most likely it's going to reach this area. Will be 100. There'll be a lot of, you would have to wait a long time. So if anybody does that, that would be pretty cool to let me know. But so basically what's happening is it's going to count the seconds starting from 0 going all the way up. And so now this might give you an idea. What if you wanted to print different messages according to the time period? So if 5 seconds have passed, you can write something like 5 minutes have passed, or hello, how's your day? And then after 10 seconds have passed, you can output something like what is your name, or something like that. So if you can quickly brainstorm how you think we can implement that. Okay, so this is the code that we had before, and we're entering the loop now, so that means everything inside here is going to be constantly changing and updating and looking through. So we have, though we took out the print counter, so we're not going to be able to see the seconds counter on the LCD. What we do see here is a similar command. So we have millis divided by 1,000. So this is basically just saying after 5 seconds have passed, we're going to set the cursor at the 0th column at the second row. Remember, because 1 is basically 2 in computer language. And then we're going to print the word hello. So this is you only print hello after 5 seconds have passed. Before those 5 seconds, it will say enjoy for the first 4 seconds. Then when it reaches 5 seconds, you're going to print hello on the second line. And it's going to look something like this. And then here we wait for 5,000 milliseconds, like we clarified in the start of the series. So we wait 5 seconds. And then after we wait 5 seconds, we're going to clear the LCD. But if you go to this next conditional, we see here that if milliseconds divided by 1,000, so after 10 seconds have passed. Well, lucky for us, if 5 seconds have passed, we print this, and then we wait 5 seconds. So it's going to, after 5 seconds have passed, we're going to print hello. We're going to wait 5 seconds with this message, enjoy and hello. And then after those 5 seconds have passed, we're going to print how are you on the first line, first column. So it's going to look something like this. Obviously, you can play around with the values, hello, how are you, and then you can add more conditionals if you want to say add something at 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 11 seconds. And what you can do is actually make kind of like an animation. If you want to make like a ball bouncing or a ball rolling, you can see kind of like stop motion, how after every single second passes, you can kind of have an image that plays at that exact second, and then it will disappear and come back. Right, so here's the next thing we're going to be talking about. What you want to notice is how this message is scrolling, and that it allows for more than 16 characters compared to the regular message. So what's happening is it's scrolling to the left and showing more message on the right, and then scrolling to the right and showing more message on the left. And you see how it wraps around. This is the end of this message, more than the sentence. That's more than 16 characters. So watch how it focuses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then it's going back this way. And what's going to happen is I was basically counting the amount of times it scrolls. So you see every single time this eye goes to a different pixel, that's the amount of time it would scroll. So what's basically happening is it's scrolling this way. It's scrolling actually to the left, and you're going to see more of the message on the right. See if you can see it. See, all these letters are going this way, but more of the message is appearing this way, and then it scrolls to the right. So more of the message you can see is appearing here. And then what's going to happen is it's going to get to the end of this message, and then it's going to go back, scroll left this way, and then the message is going to be appeared center. So that's basically how the Arduino LCD scrolling effect works. So now let's take a look at the code, and I'll elaborate this in more detail. Okay, so this is what I was talking about previously. The message is, I hope you enjoyed the video, and then we have a little smiley face at the end. So we see here, scroll 13 positions to the left. Also, just a quick note, you can always change this message, and preferably it should be longer than the 16 columns allotted so that you can see the actual scrolling effect in effect. So you can see here we scroll 13 positions. That's what we were counting 13 to when we were looking at the LCD. So what's happening is once the position is greater than 13, what it's going to do is it's going to continue to display left until 13. So basically it's scrolling 13 positions to the left. And so what's happening is when you're scrolling this way, so each of the letters are going this way, and obviously since the message is longer, what's going to end up happening is that we have a message, the rest of the message is going to show. So we have something like EA, right? And then we just have some dot, 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 right? If it's going this way, E will appear here, A will appear here, R, and then eventually what's going to happen is R is going to appear here, and then you have more of the message to see past what we have as the word ear. So basically, once we continue with this message, this is kind of the same logic for the rest. Once it passes 16, actually, when it's going to the right, you can see here that it's going for 16 positions. It's going to the right. We're waiting 400 milliseconds each time. And then what's going to happen is once it is lower than 16, we're going to we're going to go scroll left, right? Because we were going, what's happening is we were going this way. We're scrolling display to the left, so we went this way, and then we went this way. So now if we want to return to the center, we want to go back left. So that's basically what it's doing. It's going left, right, and then back to the center. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video. You see that I'm using the scrolling effect for this message. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So I really encourage you to follow what this message says and to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed today's video. What we basically went over is how to look at the scrolling effect, how to do certain effects with displaying a message on the Arduino LCD. In the next video, we're going to implement just the Arduino LCD into a game. And what it's going to do is we're going to create kind of like a running game, a more simplistic game. And then we'll try to implement this into a memory game and expand our knowledge with the Arduino LCD. But for now, what we've done is we've been able to create some effects. We've been able to create a timer and create messages that appear according to the seconds and the scrolling effect. So that's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.